Great pleasure. Joining me now is Brian Kilmeade, co-host of Fox and Friends, host of One Nation with Brian Kilmeade and the Brian Kilmeade Radio Show, and author of the very good book, The President and the Freedom Fighter. There it is up on the screen. One click on Amazon. Brian, you know, I understand disagreements in politics.
Absolutely.
I've been in and out of politics for a very long time myself. I see disagreements as broadcasters and so forth, but you cannot continue to lie about certain things that are patently clear. You just can't.
Well, I mean, he pulled himself back when he said that Donald Trump raised the deficit 40%. And he goes, I mean, 25%.
Yeah.
He doesn't take into fact, too, the pandemic spending once in a lifetime, once in 3 lifetimes, which you guys had to stop the economy. You had to pump money into the economy. In fact, Democrats signed off on it. They were all into it. And you had to sit there and watch the checkbook go the other direction. It must have killed you. I can only imagine it because you worked so hard to bolster it. I can imagine. Because it's personal for you. This is not a joke. You know, you don't go and do your job for money.
Well, I'm committed, you know,
absolutely.
Committed to prosperity.
And you have some talent, and you were trying to help out the country. So when we start getting everything going again, for him to come back and say, I'm cutting the deficit, and Donald Trump put more money into the deficit than anybody else in history, if you are desperate in the last week of a campaign and you want to make it a cartoon, people say stuff. But if there was one time in which he did not have to be political, it was now. You haven't said, I'm getting reelected. The State of the Union's not done. It's not even up yet. There's no pressure on you to be political. And in fact, the midterms are just done. You did better than most people thought, although you lost the House. So this might be one time, and my point was taken out of context yesterday, in which the president could say, listen, this is where I am. This is where I want to be. And I know when that inflation's so high, I feel it too. I like the direction it's going, but we're not there yet. I don't love where we're ticking in gas, and here's where I think the reason is. Then all of a sudden we're in it together. And then he adds this. Despite all that, every European nation would like to have our problems, every Southeastern nation. You could actually say that. And I know the economy is very personal, but in the big picture, everybody's looking to America, and we're coming out of this strong again. You could do that instead of making it like something Vince McMahon would wrote. That was from the WWE yesterday. And when he's ad-libbing, he's dangerous to his own party. And to sit there and keep saying MAGA Republicans, break that down. People that want to make America great again, we don't feel like we're there. So the people that voted for him, all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I'm out. Anybody that wanted to give him a chance, yeah, I'm out. That's what he's saying. I don't need you.
Well, it's interesting. You're right. He will not acknowledge the House Republicans. And he's putting them down. He's being very insulting to Kevin McCarthy, saying,
chaos.
Now I will meet
Crazy
with you,
chaos.
but we're not going to negotiate on this. But really, Brian, I think the worst part of this story, he repeatedly, and so does Schumer, and so does Jeffries and these other leaders, he keeps saying Republicans are going to slash Social Security and Medicare, you know, which those are the third rails of American politics, and they're going to default on the debt. And they're saying, no, we won't. With great clarity. That was the point. I'm not a hero here. We just happened this week to get McCarthy on and to get Scalise on so I could ask them. And they answered it very simply and very plainly, and Biden continues along this path. And that's why I say this is an authoritarian, dictatorial thing that, you know, it may have worked in Germany or Soviet Union or someplace, but this is not what Americans believe in. This is not what Americans appreciate. These guys are saying in good faith, no, we're not. We have other plans. We have other plans, but he won't even think about or listen to their other plans.
So here's what makes it cartoonish. When he said, they came in here and cut taxes for the rich. And that upped up the deficit. You know that's not the case.
That's correct, right.
1% off the top that was way too high. And the whole thing was, the thing you got is the trade number down from an astronomical. You got it into the 20s. That
the corporate tax. The corporate tax rate was slammed.
That's for America.
Right.
Human beings working corporations.
Yes.
And who are trying to compete with other corporations from other countries.
And ordinary workers, they're the ones who benefited.
Yes.
And they know that. And they keep lying about that.
Right. So that must agonize with you because you sit there and you actually did the math. And you did this. And
by the way, Laffer was on. Art Laffer was on. PhD economist, been around for a long time, and went through the numbers on Monday and showed that actually the lower tax rates, particularly the lower corporate tax rates, but also the top rate, produce more revenues. He just read the numbers off. And the Bidens won't acknowledge that either.
And even Barack Obama acknowledged.
By the way, he did. That's an important point. Obama had many flaws in my view, but he never pulled this stuff.
Right.
That's an interesting point.
He said he knows the corporate tax rate had to come down, but he wanted to up the upper bracket.
That's right.
You can't punish
That's
success
right.
because they're going to stop
That's right.
spreading it around, giving people the opportunity. I think we understand that. And I just thought every once in a while you could be president of the whole country, not just your party. And why not? You're 80 years old. What are you waiting to pull the trigger for?
Don't insult all the time. Don't insult. Anyway, can I move on? An expose, really pretty interesting in the New York Post this past week, about George Soros and how much money George Soros has put in. First, to left-wing, I'm going to say pro-crime or soft-on-crime prosecutors in a bunch of cities around the country. And then secondly, into left-wing funds that journalists participated. But let's talk about the George Soros. Why do you think a guy like that, who comes here from Europe, makes a fortune, very well-to-do, very successful. It's the American way. I give him all the credit in the world. And yet, he pours tens and tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars into these left-wing prosecutors who will not punish criminals. What do you make of that?
It's a comprehensive. It's a comprehensive attack on American society. What are we proud of? What are we always told about the melting pot? No matter who you are, you come in here, you get along, keep your heritage, but understand you want to be American. Well, how do you separate that? Well, you start telling people how you're different, how you're viewed. You have courses that you fund and colleges that you support. This have the Black Body Experience. They funded things called the Trans Action Institute, the Palestinian Awareness Project. This Open Society Project put hundreds of millions of dollars into colleges, especially this school, Bard. So they put money in, and Bard spreads it around, and their people go around. And then there's the other European university where he puts another $300 million in. This money's out of control that he puts in, and what does he do? He puts these in, and one of his mantras is, you got to get them when they're young, teach the youth about police and prisons being the biggest problems. And then you go and get the DAs where no one's really paying attention, and he puts way too much money into these races, and he wins all of them. So then you have the young people going up saying prisons got to be emptied. Cops are the problem. Those are the young people in the streets. Those are the ones with the masks on. And, you know, we saw with the George Floyd riots. And then you see that he's funding all these operations. And what I'm also fascinated to see is that he's also dealing with journalists. The Media Research Center, some of the biggest name journalists that we all watch on TV or maybe see once in a while, serve on boards on foundations that he supports, like Christine Amanpour, Lester Holt, Margaret Brennan, Fareed Zakaria, Julie Pace, the president of NPR, which, by the way, NPR just gets direct money from his foundation. So you serve on this board, you get some money for serving, but what are you doing? What are you hearing? And do you feel an allegiance not to report a George Soros story? So, Larry, besides going to the New York Post and looking for this, if you Google George Soros' name, almost everything is positive. He has worked out something to make sure with the Google and the algorithms that nothing ever positive pops up.
Nothing about the prosecutors,
which
has become so widespread.
You'll see a line
and
or
there's
two
a
about
public revolt against it.
Why is that? Why is our southern border open and there's no outrage? Who ever heard of leaving your back door open, letting yourself be looted and robbed, and nobody calling the cops or expressing disenchantment? That's what this is akin to. And to see his money pouring into this, trying to take America out at the very foundations, societally, criminally, and of course our sovereignty.
From a guy who
should
came
almost everything
from Central Eastern Europe and knows a lot about dictatorships and communism and the lack of democracy. It's the oddest story.
He wants to fund beyond his life. He wants his son to take over.
His son's going to take over. It's $40 billion. I'm going to give Margaret Brennan a pass on the Council on Foreign Relations. That's a small piece, and a million people belong to that.
Okay.
But the other names you mentioned, these are all really Soros front groups. That's basically what they are. And Lester Holt, for example, they should know better. They should know better.
Put it this way. We can't do that unless we get permission.
That is right.
And they would just say, who's funding it? You don't want to be in that position. You can't do it.
All right. Brian Kilmeade.
Right.
Very good.
We're off to a good start?
Pondering the imponderable.
Wow.
Pondering the imponderable. You going to be watching some champion football this weekend?
On Sunday, but Saturday at 8 o'clock will be One Nation. Amongst our guests, Matt Taibbi, a fresh drop.
Wow.
Tim Scott. indicating he's ready to run, perhaps. And Carly Lloyd, fresh off that Special Forces series, the best soccer player in the world, tries her hand at Special Forces on Fox.
Tim Scott gave the greatest State of the Union rebuttal in
Ever.
history. In history.
Absolutely.
The greatest thing.
That set the table for everything.
Brian Kilmeade.
Okay.
I don't care. I've lost interest. The Giants are out. I've completely lost interest. Please buy Brian's book.
And watch the 5 in 15 minutes.
One click on Amazon.